Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to College of Lore stream. My name's Kate.
I'm Jill.
And
today, we're going to be playing Ex Novo.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Ex Novo, Jill. You're the one who discovered it.
All right. I got this there was a racial justice bundle that was raising money for racial justice, and I purchased it. There were a lot of cool games in there, and one of them was Ex Novo. And this one is a sort of city building, history building game where you're creating a city or a village or, just some kind of group of people living together, and you come up with the history, like how long ago they started and things like that. I had the stream running so I could see myself like waving
Doing
my
stuff?
hand.
Yeah.
It's like, and so you spend a couple of hours, or it's for 1 to 4 players. You can play by yourself. I played by myself to create our campaign city of Estersea. I created the map, and I came up with a lot of interesting history tidbits and things like that might never show up in the game, but at least I know they happened, and that will help me kind of create the world around it. So it's for 1 to 4 players. It should take about 1 to 3 hours. I think ours will be fairly short because we're creating a smaller city. The larger the city you're creating,
the longer it takes.
The longer it takes, yeah.
Gotcha.
If we were playing in person, we would need things like tokens and a big piece of paper, pencils, cards, and stuff. But we're going to be playing using, what is this? It's called app, and it's kind of like a collaborative drawing website.
Yep.
And you need 3d6. So we got them. And you have a set of 3d6 with you as well. Perfect.
Oh my god, they're all 6s. Look.
Hey, yeah. See. Oh, wait, that's 5. Never mind.
You might be able to hear a fan, but that's it. That's okay. I just asked about sound, and she said that sounds okay. Good.
Oh, perfect. Good. So we decided that for this stream, we're going to be creating a small village that is kind of on the outskirts of our big campaign city of Estersea.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in the beginning of that campaign is all going to kind of take place in this kind of like a basin. So it's kind of like there's mountains all around, and then there's some forest, and then we've got the city, and then the ocean, and then just this mountain circle that encircles almost the whole thing, except for like a little inlet. Is that what it would be called? Like a little gap in the mountains where the ocean can kind of come in and out.
It's where our little harbor is, or whatever.
Yes, exactly. So we're going to be taking so for this, we're going to be creating a little village that is around the outskirts of the city, maybe a little bit into the farm fields, maybe near the what is it called? The woods.
Right. Forest.
So the forest, that's
Trees.
The one. That's the word. The tree place. The tree city.
Yes, the tree city.
The tree city. So, how the game works is it's run in 4 phases. You have the discussion phase, where we kind of set some groundwork for where we're going to go with the game.
Okay.
Then you have the founding phase, and that's where you kind of discuss the geography, the hierarchy of the town or village or city or whatever it is, the location, how come it was founded there, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the development phase, and this one's pretty cool because you kind of come up with historic events and things that happened in the city, and you do that as many times as you need to, as dictated by, well, I can't remember if it's the size of your city or if it's the age, but we'll get to that.
Sure. Yeah.
So then you're kind of coming up with all these things that happened in the history of your city. And then finally you top off your city with the remaining growth, and like you can name some features in your city.
Okay. Let's do this.
Or topping out phase. It's said 2 different ways in the rules for some reason. This one, up here it says topping out, and then down here it says topping off.
I may have just tuned out for this part, but did you explain where you got this?
The racial justice bundle? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yes, I did.
Good.
And it was a very good bundle, and hopefully more excellent fundraising bundles show up that we can support. Yeah. Actually, I think there was one that had graphic or not graphic visual novels that's out recently. I should have had a link ready.
A visual novel and a graphic novel.
A visual novel is kind of like a game that you're experiencing a story, but it has kind of like a game feel to it. Like you might be able to choose your options and things like that.
Yep.
There was a lot of them in the racial justice bundle as well.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, Ex Novo. Let's see here. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be doing our discussion phase.
Okay.
And this is where we kind of set down our assumptions for the game, our expectations, the target size of the game, or the target size of our village, and the target age of our village.
Right.
You can do this as random or as controlled as you want, but I know that we have some things kind of set in place already, or at least I know I do, and we can kind of discuss them a little bit.
Yep.
So let's see here. So our setting is going to be in Estersea, and we kind of already talked about that setting in a world building game, or session. But I guess I'll just give a little rundown. So it's kind of like a world that's been isolated for 500 years because of a plague that has struck the world, and for some reason this place has not been affected.
Right. So
they've been living for 500 years isolated from any outside influence, and it's kind of a town that has a little bit of everybody in it. It was a port town. So just there were a lot of different people. What else do we know about it? Kate, do you remember?
Well, there's a monarchy.
Yes, there's a monarchy.
It's ruled by a monarchy, and the religious
like the deities and things like that are a bit more involved.
Like the clergy, the religious people are considered very powerful, I guess, or
totally.
there's I feel like I remember the clergy is said to be maybe the reason why the plague didn't spread here or whatever, and so they're very influential, and the pantheon has a lot of influence on day to day, and so clerics and paladins are very influential in the town. And other types of magic are sort of ostracized. So sorcerers and not wizards, actually. Wizards is an exception that aren't. But sorcerers and warlocks and are kind of because people are unsure about what happened with the plague. And I think the insinuation is that some of those more chaotic kinds of magic might have been involved in it. And so those are some things that I remembered about the world.
That's really good. And also that druids are kind of
really well known,
myth or a rumor, and
and
that bards are not really thought to have magic. They're just kind of they're thought to be kind of more like stage magicians, so people don't really think about them having magic.
The bards kind of know that they're doing magic, but they are doing it in a way that people can believe that they're not really doing magic.
which I really like, because it's a flip on
but
the
it's
real world.
It's like David Blaine or something like that, right? People are whoa, magic, but nobody really thinks that there's actual magic going on.
Exactly. And that's kind of what bards want, is for them to, but it's almost like the flip. It's oh, it's definitely not real, but that was so impressive. But secretly it was real.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a little bit of a flip on that.
Oh, thank you for the link, Kiwi.
Did you find it? I was hoping that you would.
The visual novel
Thank you so
romance
much.
collection for Black Trans Life. Sweet. Awesome. We'll check that out.
Yeah, that is exactly the one I was trying to think of. So thank you, Kiwi.
Yay. Thank you.
We'll have to... How long is that bundle up? I wonder if we can still link it when we put the video up. That'd be good. Anyway, we'll figure that out.
We'll check it out. We'll see if it's there. Yeah.
Okay. So the discussion phase. So that's kind of our setting that we're working with. I think it has a little bit of different cultures mixed in. So I think the city, the buildings are going to be kind of a bit of a mix. And I think the town's going to feel a little mishmash a little bit.
Okay.
Of different things put together. But like the villages, depending on how new the village is, it doesn't necessarily have to follow that, because if the village is only 10 years old, like maybe we're talking about a village that is newly created, that might have a bit of a different feel than like it'll definitely feel different than the city, but we can kind of decide it's separate from the city.
Yep, sure. It doesn't need to follow any of the same things. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So our expectations. So what do we want from this game? And so I think what we want is a setting that I could kind of build a session on. Like if you guys need to go to this village for a reason, or if anyone wants to have their character from this town or anything like that.
Yeah.
We want it fleshed out enough that we could use it in our Dungeons & Dragons campaign.
Yep. Okay.
So our target size. So for size, we kind of already decided on village, so that can be, 500 or less people around that.
Yeah, makes sense.
And as for how wide it's spread, I guess we'll kind of get into that when we, start drawing it and stuff like that.
Okay, yep.
Let's see here. And then our target age. So...
Right.
I guess we can roll on that when we get there.
Yeah, we can, as long as it's not older than... Well, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, true.
It could be older than Estersea. It could be.
Mm-hmm. It could be.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get started.
Okay.
With the information we have so far. So, with our size, we're saying village. Mm-hmm. So... the three choices for the size of the village are either density 1, which would mean how dense the population is, and it's either like maybe it's only 100 people, and that would be a very low density village. Yeah. If it was density 2, that would be 250 people crammed into this village. Mm-hmm. And then if we're going density 3, like a very high population village, that's the 500.
Mm-hmm. So do we want to randomly determine that, or do you have a preference?
It does not matter to me. If we want to roll on between those three, and this could change too while we're developing its history.
Sure. As
well. Like this is kind of like, do we have a goal in mind, or do we want to kind of let it naturally grow?
I don't think there's a reason for it to be anything in particular. Do you?
No.
It could be any of those things.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll say village.
Yeah.
And then we need the city size. So...
Oh, like, geographically?
Like, yes, but for some reason it's called city size, but this is about how long it's been going. So it's like 5 to 10 years, 10 to 20 years, 20 to 50 years, 40 to 80, 50 to 100, 80 to 150. But, like, that can be, like, expanded or shrunk however we need that to be, because like say we chose okay, here we go, sorry. So say we chose village, and we are choosing village, so it's a small hamlet where everyone knows each other and most people are focused on the necessities. Mm-hmm. So what we do for drawing it is we have to split the map with 5 lines, and we set aside 3 citizen tokens. So for example, I'll get the drawing up here. So I'll draw like just kind of like our village outline.
Okay, sure.
And it can look like whatever we want. If we don't like this, we can erase bits of it. Can you see that?
Ooh, I can see it.
Okay. So say this is the outline of our city.
Yeah.
We might end up having weird geographic things coming in here. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
So what we do is we split the map with 5 lines, and these 5 lines can kind of go however. So I'll draw one. Ooh. Would you like to draw some line?
How did you
draw? And I think they can be pretty much.
Did you just do like the pencil?
I'm using my I just used the pencil tool, and I'm using my tablet.
Oh, your stuff is going to be so much nicer than mine. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Like, it can be like a small little thing if I
Yeah,
want to.
like you can kind of, like if you want it, I think these are technically the regions that we're creating right now. So a region is an abstract unit of space that provides a sense of scale and helps you shape your city. It has a few little examples here as well, if that helps.
I did one.
Okay, perfect.
I want to like scroll down, but I can't really. I can just scroll in and out. Anyway, there we go. Oh, you already did another line. So that's 3 lines?
We need 2 more.
2 more lines. Okay.
And if I'm butchering these rules, like, I'm sorry. I never saw anyone else play it, so I'm just kind of going off of how I'm interpreting them. And the game is meant to give you a lot of freedom to get the result that you want. So yeah, that's what we're going to do, is try and get the result we want.
Yeah.
Lovely. So 1 more line?
1, 2, 3, 4, yes.
Okay, I'll do like something like that.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. So, for the age of the village, would you like to roll a d6 and see where we end up on that?
Sure. 3.
3. That is grown. At its respectable age, this city has seen a handful of generations live and die, and this will mean that we have 10 development phases on the map. So
Okay.
I think this deserves a post-it.
Okay.
So let's see, how do we make a post-it?
Do you want to get rid of the chat? How do we close that?
Oh, there's a little X underneath it to the right.
Okay.
Okay, so can I just type in here now?
And where? In the post-it?
Can you see the post-it I made?
No.
Oh dear.
Where is it?
10 dev phases.
Maybe after you type.
Can you see it now?
No. I cannot.
How did you show up? How did you make it show up when you made one earlier?
Oh my god, I just drew a line. I didn't mean to.
Oh god,
Go
our
away.
stream's falling apart.
Oh, now I see it. I see it. 10 dev phases.
Oh, I had to click off of it. That was the secret.
Yes.
Okay. I needed you to draw that line, so I would click the eraser to fix your line, and then that made that show up.
There we go. Okay.
Here we go. All right, so we're going to have 10 development phases. That's like a medium length game.
Okay.
Okay. So now we move on to the geography.
Ooh.
Using this table. So basically now we're just doing all the different tables.
Yep.
And I think we're technically into phase 2 now, which is the founding.
Yep.
Where we're doing like geography and et cetera, et cetera. Okay.
Okay.
So some geography. Now you roll 2d6.
You want me to?
And we'll see what... Yeah, go for it.
Okay. 2d6.
Using this table, you can find out what the overall geography is like around the settlement. Each entry will help you generate a different dominating feature of the surrounding environment.
So I got 2 5s.
So 10.
Yeah.
Peninsula, surrounded by water on 3 sides.
Ooh.
What did the citizens believe shaped this island? So
Might be like
we could say that a river is surrounding, because this Estersea has rivers, like large, fairly large rivers, kind of running through the forest and everything.
Sure.
So this could be like
and
an unnatural split in the river surrounding the.
Could be.
Or
it could
or
also
be a natural
be.
split.
Yeah, and it could also be a lake, or it could also be on the main waterfront. Like, I don't know if does Estersea take up the whole waterfront?
Most of it, but there's a sewage plant near one side, so the city doesn't expand over there, but the village could be kind of close to that if we wanted.
Yeah.
There is a lake that's up to the east. I don't know if I'm directing east or west, but in this map it's to the east.
Is there like a river a river feeding into that lake?
Yeah, sure. And we can change the geography of the main map a bit to fit what we're doing here.
Yes. Okay.
So we're thinking maybe a lake to the south of it, and then a river kind of huddled around it from the north all the way around one of the sides.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll
say this little like inlet that looks like it's water.
Okay.
Right? That little finger, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, okay. So maybe we have water all... Whoops. It's trying to make me click on the ad there. So we've got water all this area. And maybe this is the lake. Whoops. One thing it tells you to do when you're doing it is like, you don't need to write like lake. You just put like little... There we go.
Oh, cute.
Little water. And then maybe it's the river's flowing.
Yeah, because it needs to be three sides covered, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so this is like the water here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Okay. I'm going to see if we need to do this more than once. Because maybe we only need to do it once because it's such a small city.
You had to do it more than once?
Yeah. I think so. Unless it was the... Because I think, the geography, that's like the main thing. Like, that's its biggest feature, is that it's a peninsula.
Yes.
And then for landmark or terrain, we could add a couple of those if we wanted. Because, I mean, it's our game. We can do what we want.
Sure.
So let's roll 2d6 for our feature and see if it's...
do you want to roll?
Do you want to roll or should I? Okay,
go ahead. I'll roll twice.
I got a 4 and a 3, so that's a 7. And that is river. A smaller branching river or a large meandering one. What travels on this river? So this seems like we kind of already have a lot of water. We could either have a little thing going right down the center of our village, so it's kind of like connecting the river to the lake in a different way. Or we could roll again and see if we get something else.
It doesn't matter to me. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing if there's more water. It's just like it seems to me that whatever's going on in this village will have to do with the water.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why it's here, right?
Yeah, so it's like maybe it's a fishing village and they've had great luck and maybe like they're also near the logging area and they send logs down and they're, you know what I mean?
Hey gaming golfer. Good to see you. Meet in the middle and throw a swamp/marsh in there.
Oh, we could.
Yeah, like maybe they're harvesting something from these areas, or growing something. Yeah. Mushrooms. I don't know.
Grows in a swamp? Yeah, mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
It could be like a mushroom exporter.
Yeah, reeds for baskets. Neil says.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
So we can say maybe this region. Let's see.
So you see how there's a little inlet already? Why don't we connect that? I don't know. Maybe there's like, I can draw.
Yeah, go. You draw, yeah.
How did you get the like desaturated blue? How did you make it?
I went to marker, so it's right next. It might have been heart. No, it's marker. So there's pen and then there's marker and then I just made it bigger.
Oh. Okay, I'll try this. So I was thinking we could do sort of like some little something like this.
Yeah, sure. So is that like a little stream that's coming in through the
and then thing? Just like it would be just like a kind of swampy area.
Okay.
Yeah. So like where those lines are, there's little streams, but like around there it would be sort of damp. I would imagine if there are structures here, they will need to be like on posts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally.
Yes. Exactly. Marshy.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that number 9 is wetland, a swamp region, a marsh, a bayou. What useful but disgusting thing lies below the surface?
Yeah, exactly.
Do we want to use that as our prompt instead of river? Because we could decide like what useful but disgusting thing lies below the surface. What is useful and disgusting? Moss?
Neil saying swamp implies predominantly trees, marsh is grasses. Yeah, so it's more marshy, I think.
Okay.
Right? Why does swamp imply trees? Isn't marsh just more fresh? I don't really know the difference between a swamp and a marsh, to be honest.
Well, all I know is that we have a wetland.
Okay.
Maybe they collect turtles.
Yeah.
And there's like a turtle.
There's like a turtle with like a healing property. It like excretes something.
Yeah, like a salve.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Beauty lotion.
Turtle secretion beauty lotion. I love it. Okay, so I wonder if we should be rolling twice on these, or maybe that's just. Well, we kind of used 2 there anyway.
Does it say to roll?
No, not, and it might somewhere else in the rules. Like, I'm sure. Okay, so purpose of this location. So this we kind of discussed this a little bit, but do we still want to roll on the?
Well, let's roll and see what happens. Yeah. If we don't like it, we can be like, no.
Yeah, exactly. So 2d6.
Okay. Ooh, I got 3, a 2, and a 1.
Travel route. Access to people and travelers is what makes this valuable. Who travels here, and what waits at the end of this road? Well, river.
Okay.
And we get to add a resource. Oh.
So this would be people traveling from town to here, I guess, because there's no travel like outside of Estersea right now.
Right. So we get to add a resource.
Okay.
And I'm just going to double check what a resource entails. Adding resources. When you add a resource, that means a new source of value is discovered, developed, or an existing one is transformed. For new resources, always add a landmark that represents the object or its use. Okay. So like a mine, a harbor, the alley of a craftsman, or whatever.
Okay.
Also, as a resource appears, it often makes sense to associate it with a faction that exploits or uses it.
Okay. So, do we roll to find out what the resource is?
Yeah, and it's also no. We can decide.
Oh.
It would have to do with the travel.
Oh, okay.
So, like, we rolled and our resources, or like that thing is travel. So, like, what's a resource? That could be related to that. So it could be related to travel, like a taxi or like
in a marshy
like a
area.
Well, and like the river goes down all the way to Estersea, so it could be like a ferry service.
Yeah, and what you were talking. But wait, doesn't it imply like people are traveling here for some reason?
And back, or through.
Right. So why are they? So why are they here? Why are they coming here?
The turtle salves.
So is that the resource?
Hot vacation spot.
Right.
No, the resource is the travel as well. And like if we want to add that
as a resource, again?
Yeah. Which part?
The travel thing.
The travel thing? Who travels here and what waits at the end of this road? Access to people and travelers is what makes this valuable. What or who travels here and what waits at the end of the road or the river? So I think they'd be transporting something.
Well, back you mentioned the wood.
Yeah, logging maybe. So like they'd be escorting logs down into town, maybe down to the
to everywhere that needs it.
Everywhere, yeah.
Yeah.
So we get to add a resource. So it's going to be near the water for sure, because that's our road.
Fishmongers at the river mouth. That's possible, Gaming Golfer, but we also have like a big harbor in the main city. This is just like a small village outside of the main city. And there might be some fishing that could happen here that would provide different, like, fish than what you would get from the main sea. So that is definitely possible.
So I'm going to draw us a little wharf for, like, travel indication.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even that little. That's a pretty big wharf, but that's okay. Not to scale.
It's not to scale, yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of and so yeah, every settlement has a reason for being where it is. The goal of this is to tell you what this place made the settlers pick it and stuff like that. So maybe
so it's because of its location in the lake and the river, and traveling on the lakes and the river is like the main purpose.
Yeah, I agree. So, decision. This table will let you know who decided to found this settlement. It will tell you about the motivations of those living there. In most cases, it's people trying to fulfill a need, but it could also be by accident or based on a spur-of-the-moment decision of some remote ruler. So this is also a 2d6 roll.
You can roll that one if you want.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a 6. So, settlers looking for freedom. What freedom is important to this community, and what oppressive authority did they leave behind? So this is where we get to add our first district, move one citizen token to the city. So I think maybe they were trying to, because this city or this village came up after Estersea was kind of sectioned off. What if they were trying to just get like out, and then they kind of discovered they can't leave because of the mountains and whatnot, and it's too dangerous, so they decided, then they were like, well, it's good for travel, so maybe we'll
just stop here.
Stay.
Yeah, could be.
What are you thinking?
So why were they leaving? Is that one of the things we need to figure out?
It says, what freedom is important to this... Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. What freedom is important to this community, and what oppressive authority did they leave behind?
So do you think maybe the monarchy is less, like, involved in people's day-to-day out here? Like, they'd be coming and collecting taxes and stuff like that, but maybe there's not as much oversight from, like, the clerics and paladins and stuff out here. Definitely. So it's just a little bit, I don't know.
Maybe they're, like, less interested in the deities as well.
Potentially.
Maybe there's no shrine in this city, or this village, and they
they are worshipping, like, a different pantheon.
A druid.
So a druid god? Or just a druid?
Well, they think they're a god, but it's just a druid, but, like... Maybe this is something I shouldn't be saying out loud, because it's something that you would discover in a game if that was the case.
Well, we can all, like, we're all grown-ups. We can all pretend not to know things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, maybe they've left behind as much religion as they can. Maybe they do still have a shrine, and it's just like...
And it's not...
totally pray.
It's not necessarily specifically religion. It's like the structure imposed by the city, like living within the city walls, and as a result of that, like the religion that sort of underlies all of that.
They use to control everybody.
Yeah.
So we need to add our first district and move one citizen token to the city. Okay, I think we start with 25. No, shoot. This is the part that I left out when I was doing it because I knew what my population was.
Right.
And I just was going to make that up, so I didn't bother with all the city or the people tokens. So I'm still confused by that aspect of the game. Citizen tokens. They represent the people living in your city. As you begin play, you start with the majority of your available tokens in the growth pool. But how many is our... Okay, so we were supposed to set aside 3 citizen tokens, I suppose.
Okay.
I don't know where I missed that, but we will set aside 3 citizen tokens.
Okay.
Do you want to make a post-it with 3 citizen tokens in it?
Sure.
Or is it easier for me to do it?
No.
Because I can just do it.
It's just as easy for me to do it.
Okay.
3 citizen tokens. I'm just writing.
Okay. Yep, that is fine. And we're going to move one of those to the city.
Okay, where?
Oh yeah, so I guess we'd need to add our first district, and that's where they would be.
Okay.
So a district, so we've split our little village up into regions, which is this part I found a little bit redundant in the game, but that's probably just because I don't know much about districts and regions, and when we're working with something so small, it feels a bit weird, but because your district can match your region lines. So
okay,
we could say, I'll just do this as an example, we can erase it afterwards.
Okay.
I'll use yellow.
Okay.
So we can say that this is our first district.
Okay.
And then we can put our like citizen into it, basically. So I'll draw a person in there.
And then I'll go down to 2 citizen tokens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So there, we've done it. And what I did when I was running this game for myself to create Estersea was that I was kind of taking like written notes on the side of the page, like all the different things that were happening. So like we decided that they were kind of getting out from under that monarchy thing as far as they could, and then they stopped there, kind of thing. So we'll hopefully try and remember.
Well, we have it. It's being streamed / recorded.
Oh yeah, I can watch it again later. Okay, this one's power hierarchy, but we kind of already know that. But if we want, we can still roll on it. It's 1d6, but we kind of already know.
I don't think we do, because it's about the power hierarchy within this village, right?
Yeah. So do you want to roll a d6 and we'll see what we get?
Yeah. 4.
4 is governing council. A select few hold the reins. How is this council formed? What qualities do the members possess? And then we can draw the route that led here. Draw the route that led here.
Well, it's just the river, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know why it says that there.
Or do you mean the route to the district? Like, is there a road? Sure. Is there a road from that wharf over to this district?
Okay.
Is that what it means?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, because it's weird, because it's not a location that we've just discussed. It's a, form of hierarchy, like we talked about.
And this is like a completely different section than the one we were just talking about where we did that district.
Yes, it is. This is the next thing. This is the hierarchy. Yeah.
Well, then I think that the route refers to like how people got to this. Go ahead.
It is. It's how it says draw the route that led the settlers here.
Yeah. So I think it's just the rivers and the.
Okay, so we'll call it the river,
because that's what we're saying is that they're traveling on the water, right? And this place is almost completely surrounded by water, so it seems like if you're going to get there, it's going to be by water.
Yeah, for sure. So they came from the southish and then came up.
Yeah.
To try
and so I think north of here is like the forest and the mountains, right?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Okay,
so we're going to say, how is this council formed? Like, do they vote, or is it like the elders, or is it like, because how old did we say this place was?
Did we say?
Yeah, it was like the second thing.
Oh, it was like...
It was 20 to 50 years. So it could be the people that are counseling.
20 to 50? I thought it said several generations lived and died.
Oh, yeah, that was another thing that I find confusing about this PDF. Because in one spot it says one thing, and then the flavor text says something kind of completely different.
Okay, so but it is 20 to 50 years.
a respectable age, this city has seen a handful of generations live and die. A handful.
But
that could be like 75 years or more.
Live and die. It seems like more.
So, want to say 150 years? 200 years?
Where did you get the 20 to 50 number?
It's earlier in this PDF.
Watching you page through this thing is hilarious.
Yeah. I wish after I printed this off and used it, I discovered how to make
the little booklet
I figured out how to make booklets, which would have made this a lot easier. I even bought one of those like crazy extendo staplers so that I could like staple them.
Oh yeah.
Anyway. So time in Ex Novo is nebulous by design. The rolled events represent the dramatic moments within a longer span of time, but if you want to estimate things more closely, you can roughly consult the following table.
Okay.
And that's where I was consulting the table where it says grown is 20 to 50 years. Okay. But then in the like actual place where you roll description, it says something completely different. So we can choose either or. We can say it's young, like 20 to 50, or we can say it's like 200 years old.
So the whole plague sequestering thing has been like 500 years or something.
Yeah,
right?
And that's like that was me extending, like making it like really long.
So that elves can't have remembered what happened or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, so I think maybe something like 100 or 150, maybe something like that. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, no, that sounds good to me. So it could be that the elders are the council, because some of them could still be alive, depending on.
They're sort of like the founders of the village.
The village.
And we don't really know yet what's going to happen when, like,
they pass.
Right.
Yeah. And maybe some of them already have, because, like, I'm assuming it's like a ragtag group of people came, and maybe it's like, you know, maybe there's only like a few left, and maybe they got some new members.
How did they get the new members?
Yeah, I think we need to figure that out.
Hunger Games.
Maybe if you can survive the swamp for 24 hours.
Yes. Lick this turtle.
Yeah. Right. What if it's like a turtle catching competition, and you catch the turtle, and whoever has the best turtle gets on the council, and they do that every.
I think it's like there's several tests, right? It's like the Tri-Wizard tournament.
Oh,
right,
okay.
Where there's like a few different challenges, and the challenges are made up by the existing council members, obviously.
Oh my god!
I mean, people can submit ideas, but they get to decide. And the idea is to try and test various skills and traits.
Yeah.
So there's like one mental one and one like physical one and like constitution.
I love this.
Okay.
Yeah. I love this. That is so good. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, 100%. Yes, that is exactly what happens.
Okay.
So draw
Should
the
we
root
be? I don't think we need to write anything down because we can just rewatch this back. But I'm not.
I know, notes, but it would be so convenient for me later to just be able to copy and paste it into my document. Okay.
Somebody be a secretary for us, okay?
Yeah, we need a third member of College of Lore. Who's just like behind the scenes writing things down, running the streams and stuff.
It's
like
very glamorous.
Hello, if you want to apply.
Yeah.
Unpaid.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh god, if we were rich though, it would be super well paid.
Yeah. We're not though.
Okay. Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, the next thing is the factions, which I think is really interesting.
Okay.
So, the power within a hierarchy is often split up among several factions. This table tells you how united or divided the people in your settlement are. Oh. So, let's roll a d6, and this gives you a number of factions that will be our starting amount.
Okay.
Would you like to do the honors?
No, you should go this time.
Okay, so I'm rolling a d6. I got 4, and that is 2 factions. It's
okay.
Uneasy allies.
Ooh,
2 factions working together begrudgingly. What animosity have they set aside to cooperate, or was it a shared threat? So we add 2 factions, and they're going to be like, okay, we'll cooperate, I suppose.
So maybe there's like of the original founding people, there's only 2 of them left.
Yeah.
And they're sort of like, yeah,
grumpy at each other.
Something,
yeah.
And so the rest of the people sort of side with one or the other of them, and that's 2
perfect.
factions.
So we need to figure out what these factions are, because, to add 2 factions, we have to add 2 symbols to our map. One that kind of represents each faction.
Okay.
And I think we can kind of just decide where they are, like, wherever we want.
Okay.
And I feel like they'd be, like, on either side of the swamp. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's like we've got the south of the swamp and we've got the north of the swamp.
Yeah, it's like the people who want to be closer to the trees and the people who want to be closer to the water.
Ooh, I like it. So do we have maybe kind of like foresters or the woods people, and then we've got the like fisher folk and stuff like that? Okay, so maybe our symbol for the sort of wood people can be a tree.
Yes.
Ugh, I don't like that tree. Get out of here.
Is it red?
I'm gonna go back to my... Yeah, I'm just doing the factions in red.
Oh.
What? That's the exact same pencil that I tried to not use. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we'll do like a little tree. Happy little tree.
Aww,
and then down here, maybe a fish, yeah.
Yeah.
That looks like a bow tie. I'm gonna try again. There's no problem with accepting or not accepting nothing but the best.
Aww,
little fish.
It's cute.
So we've got our 2 factions.
Okay. The fish and the trees.
Yeah. Okay. So now I'm excited because we're on to the events. Oh no, we have to name our city. What do we want our little
Junior?
It's like they're like, we gotta get out of this place. We gotta leave. We're trying to escape.
What are we gonna call it, guys? Like
Estersea Junior. So yeah, we've got a nice little village that's got a swamp in it. They've got like maybe they do some logging, they can ship things, they can travel back and forth to the city. So they're pretty well connected. They can probably get a hold of whatever they want.
What about something?
Too much trouble.
Yeah. What about something with the word mist in it, or like? Because I'm imagining like foggy, misty terrain here.
Esther Mist City. Esther Mist Village.
Mist Village. Yes.
We just all the different places start with Esther for some reason.
Misty
that might be
Sea Village.
Misty.
Misty Sea.
I do like the idea of mist being in there.
Yeah.
I'll write the word mist up here. Ooh, what the hecky? We could have like it spelled. Could you see what I did? It could be spelled with a Y if we wanted.
Just put an E. Put an E.
Oh.
Mist. Mistenvale. Is that it?
Mistenvale. Okay. I'm done. That sounds good to me.
Okay.
Perfect. We've named our village.
I'm really bad at stuff like this.
So now we're on to phase 3.
Oh my god.
And this is really exciting because we're on to our D666 rolls.
Oh my god. I'm gonna get my third.
And what a
D6.
And what a D666 roll is you roll all 3 of your D6s and you have an order that you want to roll them in. So for me, I'm gonna do like red, yellow, blue, because that's like Roy G. Biv rules. So that way, whenever I roll them, I'm always gonna read them red, yellow, blue whenever I read the dice. So that way, it tells me.
I'll read mine this way. Purple,
red, blue.
It's sort of purple, blue,
blue,
light
green.
blue.
Light. Oh, they're beautiful. Okay. So, do you want to do the first one? We have to do this 10 times.
Okay.
So we'll go back and forth.
Okay. So I'll do the first one?
Yeah. And this is where the world is going to get their shape. Like, this is where the history comes in.
So the first one is 3. And do you need them all 3 of them right away?
Yeah.
So 3, 5, 1.
3, 5, 1. Mm-hmm. So this is improvised. Oh, I'm sorry. improved resource use, better mining technology, or a finer degree of craftsmanship. What is improved and who benefits? And we get to add a landmark or a district into our city. So like, if you remember, so the district, so right now we have one district. So that means that yellow thing is the most populated spot in our village right now.
Okay.
So
and did you say, are we adding a district?
We can either add a district or we can add a landmark.
Okay.
And a landmark is like that wharf that we built, so that indicates travel and stuff. So we're trying to say, like, what has improved and who benefited from that. So we've got 2 factions. Maybe one of them benefited, or maybe it's the turtle.
It's the turtle thing
that benefited.
Yeah.
And maybe we could add a turtle farm and say
I was thinking that. I was thinking turtle farm.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's just like they've figured out some kind of modification to the landscaping that makes it so that these turtles' eggs are hatching more successfully.
Yeah, and they can like...
It's like a really good habitat.
Yeah, it's like really healthy for the turtles, and they get their turtle secretions, and more turtles are thriving in the area.
Yeah.
Okay, so I drew a little turtle. For our turtle farm.
Okay.
I love it. Okay, so do I roll now or do you roll now?
Well, I just rolled that one.
You just do that roll? Okay.
Yeah.
So red, Roy G. Biv. Okay, 413. So this is a great fear.
Oh.
What could possibly terrify a whole village? It says city, but I'm improvising. Possibly terrify a whole village. Is it a monster, a virus, a curse, or just the inflated rumors of a dangerous neighbor and a faction gains power? So that's really interesting. Okay. So one of these 2 factions is probably spreading some kind of rumor that is either giving them power or basically taking away the other ones, so they're getting more.
What about this druid thing that we were talking about? And so I'm thinking that like the forest faction is like allied with some powerful creatures in the woods.
Yeah.
Maybe they're druids. Maybe they're not. I don't know.
Okay. And that's kind of giving them a leg up because the fisher folk are kind of scared of them?
Yes.
Or is it kind of like... Okay.
Yeah, because they're mysterious and they don't understand them. If it is druids, this would make sense based on the lore that we have for this area, because people don't really understand or know druids.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to give wood... They'll have 2... How do I do this again? So it's kind of, I think as a faction, it starts off with a citizen token, and that shows its power. So they each should have 1 right now. And then if they gain power, that means they'd have 2 citizen tokens.
Does that come from our pool of citizen tokens?
Honestly?
Because we only have 2.
I'll read this little spot here. Adding a faction. Factions are not buildings, and so they are not directly visible on the map. Instead, you record each faction on a note card. I accidentally drew them on the map. Ideally, with their name and a quick symbol representing them. Okay. And, just like resources, factions always generate a landmark to represent them. Oh, that's what I was doing.
Okay.
Their headquarters, a frequent secret meeting place, or something else of value to the faction and its supporters.
Okay.
If it's possible, also assign an existing resource to a faction as it appears. So the only resource we had at first was the wharf, but we kind of said we had 3 resources anyway. Mm-hmm. So we already said kind of like they get the wood as their resource and they get the fish as their resource. Yeah. And like so the note card would have like wood folk. And they would have like that they have access to the forest and let's see. So when a faction gains power, take any number of citizen tokens from the city or from other factions and move them to the faction gaining power. This represents people supporting this faction and joining their side.
So we only have one citizen right now. So do we add citizens when we add a faction?
Faction is created, you need to move at least one citizen token directly to its note card. This token should generally come from the city, but it can be taken from another faction as it makes sense based on their story you are telling. So when we're creating the faction, we're supposed to move one. I think it's kind of weird because we only have 3 to work with. 2 are still in the pool, and we didn't assign them yet.
So is that our other 2 tokens?
I guess we could just do it that way. I mean, I was confused by this when I ran it the first time, and clearly I'm still confused. So why don't we just say that, yes, they each had a citizen token, and now the one that we already placed is with the
tree.
Wood folk.
And it's kind of already up there anyway.
Yeah, so we'll say they have 2, and then the fish folk have 1.
Are you going to draw them on the map, or do we need note cards for... Do you want to make note cards for the factions, or just draw them on the map?
I just found out that I can change my post-it shape. Okay.
That's good.
Okay, so we'll say this one's wood, and their resource is wood, and they have 2 followers.
Yeah.
And then we'll make a second one here. And this one is fish. Their resource is fish, and they have 1 follower.
Okay. Sweet.
Wood 2, fish 1. Here we go. So would you like to roll, or did we resolve that fully? 4, 1, 3.
So was that
I think we did.
That was our second development phase?
Yes.
Okay.
And the great fear is the druid and the power that, or like the rumor of this happening.
Yes. All right. Ooh. 653.
653. That one is minor civic fire. Smaller fires spread through the city. People and buildings are lost. What laws, positions, or rights are created to prevent this? And then we remove a landmark or a district. So a fire has burnt in our city, and this could, or in our village, and this could be something that happens during the game. Like maybe if I'm including this village, this could be something that is like a plot point later, or we can have it as part of the city's history. Yep. And so when there's something like this and you're destroying a landmark or a district or something like that, you don't just like erase it and it's gone. You always leave remains of it. So like say we got rid of that district, and instead of it, that would mean that like maybe there had been way more cities and more citizens, but what's remaining are these like ruins and like traces of their existence there. So what would you like to...
Yeah, I think it's either that district or the dock, really, right?
Mm-hmm. So what would you like? You rolled it. You can make the call. So we remove a landmark or a district. Yeah.
Well, I think it might be interesting to remove the dock.
Okay.
So
there's like huge wooden pillars that remain.
Yeah, and that's going to have a big effect here because part of the main
like that
idea, is that they were that it was a place easily traveled. But I mean, you can probably still get there. It's just
and they can rebuild.
Yeah,
but
and
like,
it's just that this infrastructure that existed is no longer there. So that's gonna oh no.
So what laws, positions, or rights are created to prevent this? So maybe they have some like stricter, like you're not allowed playing with like fire magic would be completely big no, or any kind of like playing with fire or anything like that is a lot more strict.
Yeah. No,
See what we
like,
get.
no... How... Or maybe, like, magical light is the only type of... Like, you can't have fire.
Like, they got some, like, perma enchants on some rocks or something.
Yes. Yeah, like, that's the only kind of light...
Like, glowstones of some kind. And
but then, but then how would they... And you can only cook things in... Or maybe they don't even cook food. But
a lot of sushi.
Yeah, maybe they don't cook food.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fire allowed.
Yeah.
It's like the most severe reaction ever. It's like
no fire. It's done.
Fire
you
is bad.
Played with it. You burnt down our one like way to get around.
It was only a dock, but we're so pissed. Okay, that took days to make.
Okay.
No fire.
No fire. None. Oh my god, they like haven't had a hot meal in like so long.
Yeah.
Like a lot of salted fish. Like,
well, you might get something like pretty warm by if it's like really warm in the summer, leaving it out on like a dark rock or something.
Yeah,
it would get warm, but not like hot.
Yeah. That's so funny. Okay. 344. Production fails. Uh-oh. A catastrophe, a disaster, or a cog that simply needs readjustment. What was lost? Whose fault was it? Remove a resource.
Oh no, the turtles!
We already removed, like, kind of a resource with that landmark a little bit.
Yeah, it has to be the turtles, doesn't it? Is there another resource? I guess, does the fish and the trees count? Yeah.
Fish, the trees, and the turtle. And in my opinion, and I mean it doesn't specifically say this, but if we took away the like wood or the fish in any capacity, that would change their power like ability or whatever.
Right.
Because okay, so we're saying a catastrophe, a disaster, or a cog that simply needs readjustment. So we gotta choose. Like, are they just having really bad luck fishing? Or is something worse? Like, did, like, all the turtles get sick?
Mm-hmm.
Or was there a fire in the forest and, like, all the close woods are removed?
They were, like, really for real no fire. Okay.
Oh, or did they, like, deforest themselves? Like, did they cut too much and not plant enough so they're kind of, like, in a drought?
You made me pick mine, so you have to pick this one.
Oh no! I built this, or what is it? I dug my own hole.
Yeah.
I don't think I can get rid of the turtles.
Okay.
I think I'm going to say deforestation is becoming more of an issue, and I'm going to take away one of
keeps the balance between the two factions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you're taking away one of their citizens? Did you just erase it?
Yeah, I didn't even know I could do that.
So do we get the citizen token back, or what happens? Does it go somewhere else?
Yeah, it goes back into the city. So we'll put another purple person back into the city.
Okay.
All right, I guess it would just be one in the city, and the other two are in the factions.
But
we have 3 people altogether.
Oh.
Right? So it would be one.
Yeah, but
just
so that
neutral.
that purple guy, was he not part of the woods?
We should have erased him, and he would have been part of the woods.
Oh, hi,
But now
Ethan.
he's just a normal city person. Hello.
Ethan's watching. Hi, Ethan. Okay.
So maybe I'll draw the other two.
But wait a second. Okay, so we had 2 written under woods. Yeah.
Yeah. So here, I'll do this, and that'll make it a bit more. Whoa.
We had 2 though already, and then we just had to remove one. So which one did we remove?
From wood. So now wood has 1, fish has 1, and the city has 1. So now there's 3 altogether.
But the city guy was with the wood. So did he just move back to the city?
Yeah, we should have erased him. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So it's like there's one for wood.
Yes.
There's one for fish, and then there's one neutral. So there's like a group of people who aren't.
They don't care.
Partaking in this faction. They're just like, ugh.
It's too much drama.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just care about the turtles.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing I realized that we should have been doing is keeping track of how many of these we've done. I think we're at 4. Because we're supposed to go to 10.
Right.
So I'll just start a tally down here.
Well, we have this 10 dev phases note. Okay, yep, that works. So yeah.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, my turn. Wait.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay. 3, 2, 3. I hope it's not another disaster.
Me too. We need a win. 3, 2, 3. A need now satisfied for all.
Ooh, yeah.
Either everyone has access to food and shelter, or, finally, everyone's got a nice gadget or thingamajig. What's become commonplace in this city? And a faction loses power. So one of our factions is going to lose power because everyone has access to...
the fish that they're eating?
The fish? Oh, yeah, maybe everyone took up fishing. And then... So it's like, well,
there's
we don't need to rely on you.
Or like the fishermen are giving the fish to the town, so they don't have as much like inherent wealth themselves because they're having to like give away a lot of their spoils to keep the town fed.
Or would it be like that would make the wood people lose power because everyone's like, yeah, fish folk, woohoo! Thank you for sharing your fish so freely. We appreciate you, and now we're on your side. And forget those wood folk who aren't like contributing enough to our society.
Unless it was like not something they chose to do. Like it was like, listen, you guys can't keep just taking this fish and selling it in town. We left town. You guys need to give it to us.
Yeah. Do you want to do that?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I'll erase.
So they have
one.
Do they have 0
They've
followers?
got 0 right now.
That's not good.
I don't know if that means they go away or it's just like that one leader who is
all by himself.
All by myself. Okay.
Just like crying and fishing. Just this one fisher person providing all the fish for this village, but nobody likes it.
Well, I was under the impression that like maybe some of the other people took up fishing and was like, this isn't so hard.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Let's say that that's what it is. So like that's how they lost their influence, because everyone's like, fishing is super easy. Look,
yeah, look, we're all doing it.
Yeah, I just accidentally caught a fish.
Ow!
Yeah.
Oh wow, and it's delicious.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna mark one of these off. Roy G-Bib. 6216.
Is that a bad one?
I don't know.
6.
I'm not sure. 621. Extreme temperatures. Oh my god. Freezing nights or unbearably hot winds wreak havoc. How do people and animals cope? And what parts of the infrastructure break down? Remove something. Okay. Holy, our village is going through a lot in this. Like, how old did we say it was? 100 years? This 100-year history?
Or 150, something like that. Acres.
Yeah.
There's nothing to remove. I don't want to remove the turtles.
I don't want to remove the turtles either.
Is it like...
We could remove the district because maybe instead of all collecting together in a district, maybe it was too hot in the district and they had to like spread out more.
Too much like body heat?
Yeah, like they're too clumped together.
I don't know that
Freezing
makes...
nights or unbearably hot winds wreak havoc and blow over a bunch of their buildings.
I wonder if the buildings in this area were made out of some kind of material that...
Well, they were definitely made out of wood, and they don't have access to much metal. So they're held together by
something that just
in the heat and moisture it rotted, and then
I think it makes sense for it to be heat because the turtles would have been fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't mind the heat.
Okay, I'm erasing our district.
Okay.
So they're not clumped together anymore. The people of this village are now like evenly spread.
Sure.
Okay, you roll. Let's hope it's a good one. Please give us something, anything. And we can always like say no, let's re-roll. Like if we're getting too destitute and there's nothing left to take away, we're gonna have to do something.
I got 166. I mean, it can be like a poor village. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh my god, what if it turns into like a ghost village?
It could.
Because if we have to take it away like another district or something, there's no more districts to take away. 166, you say?
Yeah.
A border is breached.
Oh god.
Who breached it? What was this border? Was it a physical or a cultural one? Remove something.
Game.
I'm looking at the turtle and I'm just like,
no. We can't, because we can't. Oh wait, we can still. Oh my god. We can still remove trees, can't we?
They do have one in their faction. Maybe the deforestation's like even worse than.
So what happened? A border was breached.
Maybe another village or a group of people came in and started cutting away from the forest. Or maybe someone went into the forest and didn't come back and they got scared and don't want to go near the forest anymore. So that kind of cuts them off from that resource entirely because of their fear. Or they saw something there, like something came out of the forest that they saw. That's the border that's breached.
Yeah, and they're no longer comfortable like harvesting the trees from that forest.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the druid influence again, right? Where it's like you can't keep cutting these trees.
Yeah, like look what you've done.
Yeah.
That at first they were kind of revering, and this is kind of nice for like the flow of time as well.
Yeah.
Because like closer to now, they used to kind of get along with this druid, and maybe now this is kind of why druids are becoming more legendary and more like feared and stuff, is because things like this kind of happen, and they're no longer welcome to breach that.
Yeah.
Or go near that and stuff. Okay, yeah. So we're taking away power from the faction.
Yeah.
Is the thing we're kind of
and we're just plopping another citizen somewhere onto the map. Is that what we do?
Yeah, let's do it. I don't even know if that's how you're technically supposed to play, but I feel like it makes sense to me, so let's go for it.
Okay.
So now they have no wood, and they don't have any fish.
They just have the turtles.
Yeah. Do they eat the turtles?
No, they eat Probably. The fish. They're well fed, right? It's just the fish faction doesn't have influence because everybody can fish.
Everyone has fish. Okay, yeah. Perfect. That was 7, I think.
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm gonna do 8. We've got red, yellow, blue, 3, 4, 1. Setting aside for tough times. It makes sense to plan ahead, to store gold, grain, oil, weapons, or even seeds. What motivates this, and what is set aside at a landmark? Oh, okay.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. Everything is terrible here, so they were like, they needed to, needed to plan ahead.
So maybe they started planting something that, will kind of assist them. Like maybe didn't someone suggest reeds earlier or something? Like maybe they start basket weaving and that becomes something that they can sell in town and kind of barter for
what
stuff
they need. Yeah.
So maybe over here we'll kind of have like
some reeds.
That's the wrong color. Yeah. I think I was making landmarks brown.
Yeah, the dock was brown.
So that'll be our landmark. So they're they've planted a lot of stuff and they're kind of harvesting these things.
Little Kiwi is happy that something good happened.
I know, it was looking pretty bleak there for a while.
It's okay. We'll have to remove these reeds pretty soon. We can't touch the turtles because we're too like...
The turtles have a buffer now. No. The turtles have a buffer. Okay, roll your D666.
Okay, and this is the second last one.
Yeah, it is.
All right, it's 5, 3, 3.
5, 3, 3. So this is sanitation and sewage construction.
Okay.
Okay. Underground sewers or overground aqueducts. The city or the village makes sure clean water comes in and dirty water flows out. How do people adapt? And we add a landmark.
Okay, that makes sense because of maybe the marshy nature of the area. We can't just be like going wherever.
No, yeah. So maybe
a porta potty or something.
Yeah, maybe instead of actually having it like, because they wouldn't be able to dig underground, they could have some kind of overground aqueduct kind of thing
that just like directs things into the river on the side that
flows it down to Estersea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, maybe.
What about composting toilets?
Ooh, okay. Maybe they figured out composting toilets. I like that. Okay. So what kind of a landmark should we add? Should it be directly related to that, or do you want to just add any landmark we want? Because I don't see why we can't do that, because we are allowed to do whatever we want.
Right.
Maybe it helps with planting stuff. Like if you have composting toilets, maybe it's like helping with...
Oh, it's is it fertilizer?
Yeah, human fertilizer.
Is that a thing?
It is in this world. Estersea has human fertilizer. It's like enhanced by the essence of magic that just kind of surrounds the city.
So we would do that. We would have that near the reeds then. Right?
Okay. So
and maybe that'll be a little bit, because people aren't going to be eating this stuff, so they won't be so weirded out by the notion.
Okay, so that means that any kind of growing production will go up. So I'm going to make a little box. Oops, that's purple. I'm going to make a little box for fertilizer because it reminds me of Stardew Valley. So I'm going to say that it's like the kind of fertilizer that you couldn't put on anything. Make your stuff grow real good. And maybe that would even help the forest grow back.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Last one, Jill.
Was that the one? Okay. Here we go. It is 6. 5, 6.
Is 6 bad?
Oh, I don't know. Just last time I had 6 at the beginning, or we had 6 at the beginning, it wasn't great. 6, 5, 6. Unexplained phenomenon. Flickering lights in the sky. Glowing bands in the woods. Something strange is happening. What is it? Is it a good or a bad omen? Change nothing.
Okay.
So we have some kind of... Okay, so I think plot-wise, we could say there's a flickering in the sky, and it would fit.
Okay.
So something, so they're noticing at night that there's some like...
It's like some northern lights, but not...
in the sky.
Yeah, okay. UFOs.
Okay, I like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And like, they only see it sometimes, like on certain nights, when there's no clouds and stuff, and then like...
When it's not as
this
misty.
will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will happen, and they're like, what?
Okay.
So, final thing is topping off.
Okay.
Or topping out or toping off. Depending on which spelling you go by. So if we have any leftover citizen tokens, we'd move them to the city, but we don't.
No.
We can increase the density of an existing district.
We don't have any districts.
We don't have any of those. and we would repeat for each remaining token. So I guess it was already a small village, and I mean, maybe I did something wrong. Entirely possible. But I'm gonna quickly check and see what the topping out phase is. To add a bit of extra life and intrigue to the village in the example, they spent their final citizen token to add population to the latest district, which we then called the Knives. Oh, we could have named our district.
It's gone now.
It's too late. And then they gave it a landmark, and as a final flourish, they gave the major river a fitting name. Oh, we could name that river.
The big one beside us?
Mistenvale River, yeah.
Yeah.
And that actually would flow through, like, the center of...
the town?
Yeah, maybe it would just connect to the bigger river.
Yeah.
But, so do you want to come up with a name for it? Or do you just want to call it Mistenvale River?
I don't know. What do you think? I can't think.
Can anyone watching us
chat
have any river suggestions?
River name. What about naming the lake? We could name the lake too.
We can name the lake too. Yeah, we can do a twofold naming thing here. Do any of you want to be immortalized as a body of water? Kiwi Lake? Huh?
Oh. Give them a minute.
Our two factions are so sad now.
Yeah, now it's just two people. We're just like...
yeah, like grumbling at each other either side of the swamp.
Yeah.
Why won't anyone listen to me and my hatred?
Could be Turtle Lake.
Oh, that's true. Turtle Lake.
And Turtle River.
Turtle Lake and Turtle River.
No. The river needs to have some other name.
Okay. Maybe they argue about the name of the river, and they have since, like, the dawn of time, and one of them call it, like, Arbor River, and the other one calls it, like, Poisson River or something. There's, like, an argument.
Yeah.
And they just call it the river. Because there's two.
Yeah, so I mean, everyone just calls it the river because now nobody is interested in, like, taking sides in this, like, debate.
Yeah.
But they each have their own name for the river.
Yeah, I like that. Arb River or Poisson River. If anyone's watching that doesn't speak French, and I'm sorry if I spelled things wrong, but that means, like, tree river and
fish river. What's the Elven word for fish? Come on, nerds.
Lambus bread.
Okay. Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah, we've done it. We've played Ex Novo.
It's beautiful.
To the best of my ability of directing this game that I am not 100% sure is done correctly, but it was still a lot of fun for me. So I think that's what matters.
The end result is a little village that we know a lot of stuff about. We know it's very small, but they do have composting toilets and reeds and turtles, and some people are from here.
Yeah. And they're all spread out. They're not all clustered together.
Yeah.
I can't remember our population. I do wish I had taken notes now, but it's too late.
Did we determine? I think we just left it at village.
Right. I think in my mind I was putting it at like 250, and I was assuming that it would either go up or down.
Right.
Since we got rid of a district and we had that fire, maybe it went down.
It's
like 100 people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write here like pop 100
ish.
Itty bitty.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that was exciting.
Yeah.
I'm going to export this so that I have it.
Okay.
Or I guess we'll do that after. But,
yeah.
Yeah, so if anyone is interested in getting this game, it's called Ex Novo. Pretty easy to find online. I think it costs about $5 for the PDF. US, I think. I think it's worth it. I think it's a great exercise, and I had a lot of fun playing with you, and I also had a lot of fun playing on my own. It's like a super, super fun game. So if you wanted to run a tabletop role-playing game, you could play this to kind of figure out your town and the backstory.
Right.
Or if you're writing a book.
That's a good point. It's a really cool way to add some structure to world building, which I personally really like. I find like that I work better in situations like this with some constraints. It's the same thing as when we were playing Kids on Bikes, and I really liked like the collaborative world building that we did there, because I just found it a lot easier to just like focus in on what people were saying and like be creative within those bounds. And so
I agree. Yeah, I feel the same way. When I was sitting down, actually maybe I could flash the map. That's fine, right?
Yeah.
So when I sat down to try and create Estersea, I was really thankful to have this game, because like I got to come up with just all, like, this is all my, I think I had 25 history events and stuff like that here. Hopefully you can't read that. And then, you know, it was, maybe I'll bend it back. But it had like, you know, I have all the rivers coming down, and here's the lake, so I'm assuming that's kind of around where Mistenvale is.
Yeah.
And, you know, I found like there were lots of little landmarks and stuff, and we got like our sewage treatment plant down here, and just, you know, like it was really, it made me think of a lot of things that I would not have thought of without the game.
Yeah.
Because when I've like done world building before for D&D or whatever, I would basically only create the things that I needed in that session.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I didn't bother fleshing out too much else, and I felt that missing. So it was really nice to kind of have a fun, quick way to kind of come up with a lot of background history, events. And I mean, it made me think about factions more so than I was thinking before, and that's so important.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's really, really cool. And it'll make it easier while we're role playing. Like, even if a situation comes up and we ask a question about something that you haven't specifically figured out through this, all the stuff that you did figure out will make it easier for you to improvise something, because you know a lot about the area now. So it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense to be able to just improvise something. You're not just pulling it out of nowhere. You have context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I know there's a lot of fisher folk. I know there's a lot of people collecting reeds or farming turtles or working with the compost, you know, and maybe there's a bunch of people still working on rebuilding the wharf.
Yeah.
And also there's no fire allowed in Mistenvale, which is like, which would be really weird for people who did not know that to be coming across and wondering, why aren't there any hot meals here? Why aren't there any
flames,
you know, things
of
like
any
that?
kind?
There's no candles.
Like, imagine the light in this area at night. Like, it would have a completely different hue. Like, if because I'm imagining all these enchanted,
like maybe a lot of purples and blues instead of your normal yellows and oranges. Yeah. I love it.
Cool.
And maybe there's like a bug that they collect, like a firefly, but it's not a firefly. They're like kind of like have it in jars and like they feed them, and like that's their pet, but also their light source.
Some bioluminescent stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Because if this is an area where like I don't think it would be, but if it was like where saltwater and saltwater and freshwater meet, and then they have that like glow in the water when you churn it and stuff. Yeah, there could be some of that in the lake. Anyway.
Yay! Thank you so much for showing this to me. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I think
maybe we'll end up playing it again someday now that we've got a taste for it, and we can read the rules over again and
be a little more certain of some things. But we don't mind, fudging it and making it up as we go. So.
Oh God, no! I think that's what makes the game so fun is that you do need to take liberties with it because some options in here, like saying we'd have some kind of sewer system doesn't really work for this village.
Yeah.
So we didn't take what it said, but we used that to be inspired for something else.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a really fun game. Hope you enjoyed watching us play it.
Yes.
And if you did, feel free to subscribe and follow and all that stuff.
We're streaming every week on Tuesdays now, guys.
Yeah, we are.
So see you next
every Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.